Did you know that 91% of businesses never reach $1 million in yearly revenue? So why does this happen? I've helped over 70 businesses grow their revenue by nearly $3 million in the past 18 months. And in this video, we'll break down why most businesses struggle to reach $1 million in annual revenue and how you can be in the top 9% of businesses that do. So if you didn't know this, so the top 1% of businesses are over $10 million every single year in annual revenue. So if you're looking at this and you have a business like that, you're doing great. The top 5% of businesses are between 1 million and 10 million in annual revenue. And the bottom 91% of business owners are generating less than $1 million every single year, with most of them generating less than 100,000. So there's a million things I could talk about in this video. We could deep dive into so many rabbit holes, but what I'm gonna do is simplify this for you and help you focus on 5 key areas that will catapult you into the top 9% of businesses. All right, so category number 1 is your strategic focus and vision. I worked with this client that started with us at $500,000 in sales. The problem that we found with them is that they had 25 plus offers, causing them to sell services that weren't actually profitable enough to scale the business. So what we did is we helped them develop a better strategic focus and plan to sell those 4 to 5 most profitable products to help them scale their business. And that's what you need to do in your business. You need to have a clear business model and strategy targeting a specific problem for an ideal audience so that your offer is so clear and solves their problem that you can charge the value of that product or service versus falling into the shiny object syndrome of selling as many services as people will pay you for. So along with that, you need to have clear business goals. So you need to have a 1-year, a 5-year, a 10-year, and exit plan for your business while you're doing it. And you need to have alignment with your daily, weekly, monthly, yearly calendar to actually take action on the activities that will lead you to those goals. And they need to be disseminated to every member of your team in order for the business to grow. That way, all of your decision making is driven by your long-term goals rather than short-term urgency that can often lead you to the problem we just discussed. Always start with the end in mind so you can reverse engineer and design your business to be advantageous for you. So category number 2 is the scalability factor of your business. I had a client that I worked with who was really frustrated with the sales performance of their insurance team. We looked at how their admin team was working with the sales team and how their leads were shared between departments. So it turns out the sales team would handwrite leads from an online system, and it would take them literally hours to get all of the information handwritten because that was just the way that they had always done it. And so they spent less time phoning. Less phone calls means less sales. So the moment we found that, we helped the owner and admin team implement a CRM system that would automatically not only track all of the sales metrics of how many calls, so we could actually find this thing, but more importantly, it had all the leads in it. So we saved the sales team hours and hours of time, and their sales skyrocketed by that simple change in systems and processes. And that's what you need to do with your business. Your systems need to be so copy-paste, written, easily trainable, with software and communications that utilize automations like self-tracking metrics like we just talked about for your phone, calls, meetings, and put everything in one place so that way everyone can be more efficient and do the activities that a human being has to do versus writing things on pieces of paper in 2024 plus. And you need this in every department in your business, not just sales, not just admin, not just ops. You need it in your marketing, you need it in your executive structure. Every single team member has to know how the system works well for them. Category number 3 is leadership management. So worked with a real estate team who was frustrated because his team just wasn't producing like he wanted them to. They didn't seem motivated. He felt like he was pulling teeth to get them to work. And the reality was he just hadn't poured into them and created a positive culture with clear expectations for every team member based around his long-term vision. We also helped develop incentive structures that were designed for the long-term success of the team that offered a better future for each team member versus the same old dead-end job that they felt like they had. And you need to have the exact same structure if you want to have a good culture. Our category number 4 is going to be your recruiting process and retention of valuable employees. I've worked with teams that have had such a negative culture that short of an act of God, the only way to solve the problems they were having in the business was to mass fire the toxic people or just close the business down in general because it's so distracting for the client. I've also worked with clients where we were able to develop, and based on those mission, vision, values we just mentioned before, and better training processes to where every single team member could care less about their job description. They would go to the wall for the company because they believe so much in the mission. And the way that happened was developing job descriptions, clear schedules for every single team member in the organization, right? And when you're recruiting, making sure that every single person that you recruit has bought in to the mission and vision and values that is developing such a good culture in the first place. You need to not hire based on urgency, but rather on do they agree with the values that you've set forward, because What's more valuable is hiring people that will fit the culture than trying to force people into the culture. And your recruiting process, the dissemination of information, how you train people in the first 3 weeks will determine if they buy into the culture or if they're going to be a loner and cause you problems in the business. All right, so for number 5 is the sales process and customer retention. I've worked with a client whose early success came from being new in the market, having a great product, but eventually the heavy hitters in the market with billions of dollars in marketing budget just attacked them with anti-marketing campaigns and PR pushes. And so eventually the sales were actually going down, and over 24 months they had negative cash flow. They hired us, we started working with them to formalize their sales process because people were saying different things, it was all over the place. So we worked with them to develop better resources, develop scripts, we trained the entire sales team, and they became into this sales machine, and their revenue skyrocketed despite everything that the heavy hitters were throwing at them because they had a better product, they just weren't selling well enough, and it wasn't a streamlined process that was replicable every single time. And that's what you need in your business. Your sales process has to be so simple that someone could just read through, a brand new hire could go through and know exactly how to sell your product or service. Even if they're not the top salesperson when they start, they can at least bumble through and make sales. So that means you have your process from lead generation and how to do that controllably, to the initial contact, to conveying value in the actual process, to closing, long-term retention, and everything else you can think of. It needs to be written out, defined with the resources, with where you click and where you deposit information, so the entire team can support the revenue generation process. Without this, your business just won't exist and it won't scale past that $1 million mark. Nearly every single company we've worked with has struggled with one of these 5 areas or a multitude of the different areas. So if that's you and you're watching this video, reach out. We do free discoveries. We'd love to chat with you about your business. Even if you don't work with us, we want to add some value on what we call a discovery call. All you have to do is go to the description, click the link that says contact us, and tell us about your business. Maybe we can help out. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, comment below with your favorite part of the video. Go apply these things, let us know how it goes, and until next time, I hope you grow your business.